Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for the censors within TikTok, to say within community guidelines, we always assure you at the New Health Conversation, we only share from medical proof. We do not give people opinions. We don't make outrageous claims. We back it up by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Plus, we've written 4 best-selling books of some of the top medical doctors in the world. And everything we bring to our audiences is nothing but pure facts in the public domain. Anybody can look at it. So everything we're sharing with people is to enlighten them, educate them, and make them aware, okay? Hello, Mark R., Dorothy Knowles, Wes Clark, LG Con, Derek, Miss Taurus, Coolman. So let's start out this morning. Well, it's this morning where I am. I'm in Denver, Colorado at 6:30 in the morning. If you're someplace else in the world, welcome aboard, because we know this podcast is gaining popularity and it is going all over the world now. The most important thing for all of you is to understand that picture right there is totally for real. We're researchers. Again, introduce myself. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books. I've appeared 20 times on PBS and interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America and did over 1,500 live lectures around the world. And for 22 of my 23-year career in the medical world, it meant 0 until now. The thing that is great for all of you to understand is this is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. What she did there was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who it took them 40 years to figure out the secret. It was amazing, the secret to weight loss, not just losing the weight, but being able to maintain it. The protocol they named R2M, race to maintenance. Now, let me explain to you what they did and why this works and why. Are all of you curious about that? Naturally do. Toro, Lorena, Mandrella, Doppler, Angel, Monica, lots more people coming on. So she really lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. It is not photoshopped. It's been not cropped. It's not touched. It's not AI. It's really real. How many of you, if you were honest, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, I'd love for you to put it in the chat for me, how long would you give yourself? Now, I understand that most of you look at that and don't think it's real. You think we're making it up. But can you take the chance that what if it is real? What if that is absolutely real? Now, the other thing we have going for us, if you notice right above her name there, it says the New Health Conversation. What's on that website is just the medical proof. There's nothing to buy. There's no buy buttons. None of my books are for sale there. It's just a pure medical evidence. Now, if you do like what you see and you go to that website, the New Health Conversation, notice right above it says free coaching. It means free coaching. The initial consultation, and they'll coach you all the way through, not just to get your weight off you, but show you how to maintain it for the rest of your life. Do you know over 95% of the people that are doing this have been able to, in this case, the picture's about 8 or 9 years old. Most people are able to maintain whatever they've lost. It's amazing protocol. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. So I'm sure you're all curious. The Celtic Ma, Maria, Lucy, Tony, Bear, Nikki knew. So again, are any of you curious as to what she did? How did she do it? What's different about this? Why isn't it a diet? Why should you care? Why should you be interested? Those are all great questions that I'm sure most of you have. So let me explain to you. Oh, we're getting some hearts and some likes. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. If anybody would tap on the screen. Weirdo Time Right Now joined. Dana, let's see, Lamu. Motor City Car. I can't even answer. There's so many people coming on. I can't answer fast enough, but I'm not being rude. But I think the most important thing for all of you as you come on, do you want to know how in the world is this possible? In other words, again, I still don't see anybody posting. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself to do it on the best diet, the best gym, the best trainer, whatever? This protocol that they invented makes all diets obsolete. Do you all get that? When was the last time any of you lost? 3 months. Okay, Mandrella, thank you. Mary from Toronto, I need help. Okay, Mary, I promise we're going to show you exactly what they did. Charlie, wow, so many nice people. Already lots and lots of likes, okay? Now listen, let's establish a couple things. Number one, we are here to serve you, okay? We don't sell anything. The researchers who invented this, there's no products involved here. This is strictly food. But these researchers who put this together, 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet any of you could name. I want you all to understand one thing. Wherever you are right now, none of it's your fault. I'm serious. None of it. I don't care if you have 5 pounds to lose or 150 pounds to lose. The problem is, whether it was on purpose or not, we've been totally misled. And the people that were telling us to lose weight by calories in, calories out are completely wrong. Now, they thought that was the final answer, so they never went any farther. Thank goodness for all of us, these researchers who are the top, they're rated the top people in the world. At the end of the day, they said the only thing that mattered to all of us was nutrition. Seriously, I know this sounds simple. No, this is not supplements. This is not like you're going to take a couple pills and drink. No, it doesn't work like that. So what they did, they figured out that the problem with diets was really pretty simple. Think about it this way. You have a minimum amount of nutrition that your body needs. Everybody got that? And that runs your brain, your heart, your kidney, your liver, all your organs run just on nutrition, all right? What was happening to us is when we go on diets, we lower the amount of food, which means we lower the amount of nutrition. That triggers a reaction in the brain that you're starving to death, which you are nutritionally. So the brain reacts in a very violent way, first preventing you from getting any fuel from your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. And then creates two of the most unhealthy environments for you. One, yes, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on these diets ultimately. That's why, see, here's the thing that researchers, everybody said, there's no question you can lose weight initially on any of these diets. But what good is that? Do you know that the major studies, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes here, 2/3 of you are going to weigh more than what you did when you started dieting? 2/3 of you. Does that sound like any of you that's a solution? We're here to make you aware. We're here to say, look, okay, here, count calories, here's those results, and look at what she did, and many of the other people, well, all the people that are doing this, had unbelievable results. So the researchers did this. They put together food lists. 30%, the researchers, you take to your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, vitamins, vegetables, and fruits. Now that sounds pretty easy, but what was different about this, the researchers concentrated only on foods with high nutrition but low quantities. And they gave her, not calorie counting, they gave her serving sizes. Everybody understand? So 30% of what she bought last month for food, she only bought 30% of it this month with very specific quantities. Like, for example, let's say protein. I'm giving an example, like say 4 to 6 ounces of protein, a third of a cup of vegetable, whatever it was all laid out by serving size, not by calories, okay? Now, here's the key to it. The other 70% of what everybody consumed doing this are not sold by the researchers because they don't have a company, they don't have any products. We didn't sell anything to her. But they found other researchers that had gone around the world for 25 years looking for these foods in these faraway regions that had huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food in terms of quantity, if that makes sense to you. Excuse me. And these foods came from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and they're not foods you can buy at your local grocery store. So now they had the ingredients that she was going to take. Then they invented 2 new ways of consuming the food. Remember, this had never been tried before. So 5 days a week, they gave her 4 meals a day. Imagine that on a diet, having 4 meals a day. She started breakfast from these exotic foods around the world. Lunch came from this grocery store list, dinner from this grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these world's most perfect meals. That's what the researchers called them. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something that the researchers invented called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. This was fasting with nutrition. So not a water fast, not time restricted eating. I mean, it's fasting with nutrition. That's the only way I can explain it to you that they said. What they let her do on those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods around the world. But listen to this, everyone. They let her eat 8 times a day. What? Yeah. She was eating about every hour and a half. Look at the results. Look at those results. Unless you think it's fake, maybe you do. Maybe you think we photoshopped it. We didn't photoshop a darn thing. Wow, I'm very excited, everybody. We're already up to 1,400 likes. Thank you all so much. I'm 52 in menopause. M-free, this could help you so much. Help you so much. We got so many women with menopause that are just having amazing results. And as most of you know, in menopause, lots of things, not just you can't lose weight, you don't have any energy, you can't sleep at night, your mood swings, hot flashes, all that kind of stuff. At a minimum, if you can reduce those, I'm sure your quality of life goes up dramatically. I know it does because we do this. But I want all of you to understand, including you, M4E74, this is not a diet. Please, everybody, understand, this is not a diet. It has nothing to do with counting calories. Do you know that counting calories is completely obsolete, totally antiquated? And anybody that will tell you that it's about calories in, calories out is completely wrong. And here's why. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, any of you, give me the definition of a calorie. Now, I'll be honest, 23 years ago, I didn't know what a calorie was. But up to that point, I was counting them. Why are you counting calories if you don't even know what it is? So again, can anybody put the scientific definition of a calorie? I'd love to see what you all think, okay? Now, so Mandrella, you said 3 months, but look at that, that's 30 days. I mean, Mandrella, what do you think about that? But look, everybody, look at her hips. Look at her stomach. Look at how much she shrank. I'm going to explain that to you right now. The problem we're all having, although now it's coming out in the mainstream media even, we're all, well, let me explain it first. I discovered a medical syndrome. Here it is, TDOS. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. T for toxins, chemicals, deficiency, overweight, and stress. These four are undermining any hope you have long-term to maximize your health. And secondly, they really interfere and are causing a huge part of this weight gain that we're all seeing. Did you all see the thing about a month ago now where they're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries? But did you also know now since 2005, we now know we're storing herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon in our bodies? Here's how it works. Whether you think you're living in a clean environment, it doesn't matter. You're right now, all of us are breathing in the fumes from the coal-fired power plants in China from 2 to 3 weeks ago. This is a worldwide problem, okay? And we're getting sicker and sicker at younger and younger ages. And most of the scientists now believe these chemicals that have made our lives better have also really done bad things to us. What the researchers did that was so different, and I'm going to talk to you about how did she shrink. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this protocol was assisting the body in removing toxins from the body, because when you first ingest these chemicals, the body presents it to the liver first. It's the biggest filter in the body. But now our livers are so overwhelmed that up to 40% of you have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that's not from having alcohol. That's just from what's happening to all of us. Once the liver can't handle the chemicals anymore, as they come in your body's last defense, it takes that chemical and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. Now, here's the thing about fat. You're born with the same number of fat cells, you die with the same number of fat cells, but they can expand or they can contract. How many of you are so frustrated, it's not just that you gain weight, but the amount of fat you have in your body? Well, actually, it's just the fat expanding as the chemicals, because that's the body's trying to save us. It's trying to protect us from these chemicals. So what happens if you, in this case, if you're able to remove the chemicals from fat cells, they shrink. That's what's going on. Look at her. I'm going to show you another one right now. This is going to blow your mind. Everyone, that's 37 days. Look at her waist and legs and shoulders and arms. Look at how much she shrank. It's because she's detoxing. See, first and foremost, this is a detox, everybody. First and foremost, that's what it is. Not because I say so, because in the peer-reviewed human trial studies, they proved it. Medically, proved it. You think your paleo, keto, Mediterranean, any diet you're on is doing anything like this? It's doing things to you that are really unhealthy, like slowing down your metabolism. And also, do you know when you lose lean muscle? Let me go back for a moment. All the studies now say 25 to 40% of what you lose on any diet is your lean muscle mass. Sound good? No, it's not. Because it's bad enough it slows down your metabolism, and that's why you plateau in these diets. You come off the diet, you gain everything back. Worse, it slows down your own immune system. So these very diets you're on right now that you're going to run back, they're making you really unhealthy by slowing down your own immune system, for crying out loud. What are we doing? This whole thing is crazy. by the number of people that are coming to my podcast sharing and saying, I'm frustrated no matter what I do. I've tried every diet, nothing's working. This is not a diet, everyone. Now, this picture is the daughter of a friend of mine that most people accuse me it's a different woman, okay? This is 90 days, 3 months. Wait till you see this. Look at that, everyone. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist area, and look at that. So M-free, can you see that? You see that? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. It does look like a different woman. It's the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, I know you could think I'm unethical that I would Photoshop her picture. I don't need to change anything because absolutely none of this is even my research. I'm the researcher of the researchers. Does that make sense? We need to get this message out to the world. I mean, I'm sure you have friends, family, coworkers. Look what's going on. Go to the malls today. At least in the United States, it's a holiday today, Memorial Day. You think this is working? Do you know the estimate? Well, I've got a big study right here from Johns Hopkins Medical School. Let me read this to you, and then anybody put in the comment, you're going to tell me you think diets work. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. It's estimated 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. I mean, does someone want to argue that you think paleo or keto or Mediterranean or time-restricted eating or fasting or Cornish or zone or lose weight for your blood type or carb recycling or counting your macros or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers? None of them work, everyone. None. Look at America. Look at the world. We have 1 million people worldwide clinically obese. 1 million. Sorry, 1 billion. 1 billion, not a million. 1 billion. So dicey. Daisy, this is laughable. For what reason, Daisy? I'd really love to know your comment. Because you see, if you're talking about peer-reviewed human trial studies, which we are, it's irrefutable medical evidence. Your opinion doesn't mean a damn thing. You show me peer-reviewed human trial studies. You can do whatever your little dance is. But the problem is that we're sinking as a society in all these damn approaches of calories in, calories out, paleo, keto, or someone expressing an opinion with not one shred of medical evidence. Show me a shred of medical evidence backing up what you're talking about. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. How many times have you been on PBS? I was on PBS 25 times. Were you interviewed in the 4 biggest daytime shows in America? Did you do over 1,500 lectures around the world at places like Notre Dame and at hospitals and medical schools? And they flew me to Europe and to China? I don't think so. So it's really amazing, people, when people come on and say things like that. It's great. Make a comment. I'm cool as long as we keep it above board, as long as there's no personal attacks. That doesn't do anything. Science has no. Look, here's the problem, everybody, that people like this are giving you the same kind of information that you're getting from all these influencers. What are they telling you? Calories in, calories out, paleo, keto, Mediterranean, whatever it is. And then you look around and 86% of America is going to be overweight in less than 4.5 years. And you think that that's working? It's just laughable. It's funny. I just find it amusing because either you believe in science or you believe in opinions, right? So I guess the only thing to do is to just, wish that person a really good day. I hope your day turns out okay, because it's pretty obvious that whatever you're stating has no merit in reality. Okay, everybody? Yeah. So who else would like to ask a question? Because this is real. Now let's look at another picture. This is Curtis, an older gentleman, 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days with no exercise at all. No one was allowed to exercise because the researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier. But look at his medical. You think that's laughable? His medical changes from A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, from triglycerides from 242 to 124. In these studies, they were monitored by some of the top medical doctors in the world, watching people's medical changes. See, this is what's so different about this. When you're talking about a peer-reviewed human trial medical study, there's nothing higher in medical research. So when people come on and try and make really sort of silly comments, they don't have any basis. Because what happens with these peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, They're done on human beings. They take a long time. They cost a lot of money. And the object behind these big journals, like the Obesity Journal, like a Nature Communications, which is the #1 medical journal in the world where one of these studies was published, it's irrefutable medical evidence. It's already been reviewed by the top people in the world. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Does that make sense to everybody? Wow, we're doing good. We got 2,000 likes. Let's get some more taps, okay? But anyway, I hope that you will, enjoy what we're going to share. I don't know if enjoy is the right term. Now, let me show you one other thing. Here's Andy. He's a younger guy. Let me find it. Hold on. How about 45 pounds and 60 inches in 30 days? 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days. No one allowed to exercise. And again, look at his A1C. Went from 7.9 to 6.2, but his bad cholesterol from 120 to 59. That's hardly a laughing matter. This is changing people's lives, and it's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about 10,000 steps. Not that that's bad or there's anything wrong with it, but that doesn't work long term. Now, lest you think I'm making things up, let's start to read from some of the medical proof that whatever diet you're on now is doomed to failure. Sorry to tell you that. Maybe you don't like me. It doesn't matter that you don't like what I'm saying. Science has no emotion. So let's look at this, everyone, all right? And then if any of you want to know what in the world we can do, I'm going to explain it to you. So here's a huge report from Medicare, a new study. Listen to the title of the study. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. This is Medicare speaking, not somebody coming on and making a silly comment on, they're in their basement or whatever they're doing. That's great, but that's not science. They went on to say, our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? You're all on diets. I mean, Medicare's telling you 2/3 you're going to weigh more than when you started. Why go on a diet even in the first place? For what purpose? To gain more weight than you started with? You're going to end up worse than when you started. You'd be better off. There are studies saying you're better off not even to go on a diet if 2/3 of the people are going to weigh more than they do now. What do you think? You think I'm making things up? Where can I find the information? Joe, right here. Joe, I'm going to show you. You go here, the new health. I'm putting it in the chat for all of you at the bottom. I'm going to make sure I spelled it right. I did. So, Joe, just acknowledge you can see that and you understand you can go there. It's a free website. Let me come back to the very beginning and show that again. You can also see it above her name there, Joe, in blue, the new health conversation, no spaces. And also you notice in black, free coaching. That means free coaching, like no kidding. It's not just the initial consultation that's free. They'll coach you the whole time. Because here's what's so different about this, Joe, and everybody else. It's not about getting the weight off you. Obviously, we can do that. It's about showing you how to maintain it for the rest of your life. It's called R2M, Race to Maintenance. Developed by the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world. Again, not people coming on making silly comments on here. These are the top people in the whole darn world who took 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, millions of dollars to figure this out, and they have no products to sell. This, at the end of the day, Joe and everybody else, this is food. But totally different approach, nothing to do with calories. Finally, calories. I mean, again, I'm waiting all this time. Okay, Joe, great. Can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? I'd love for someone to put it in the chat, right? I'd love for someone to put it in the chat. What is a calorie? But Joe, again, to let you know, when you go there, we won't contact you, Joe. So understand that. We don't want to be, we're not in the convincing business, okay? But if you like what you see, then scroll down and then you can sign up for your free coach the whole time if you decide you want to do the protocol, which we don't sell you anything. The researchers who created this, they don't sell you anything. So basically, for all of you that are just coming on, how in the world did she do that? Well, these researchers, the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, developed a grocery list for her and everybody else where only 30% of the food she typically would buy in a month she bought from her grocery store, only 30%. And that represented proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, fruits. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes, very important, okay? Now, that was 30% of what she purchased in a month. The other 70%, excuse me, you would buy directly from the suppliers who supplied these exotic foods from around the world to the researchers, which represented 70% of what she consumed in a month. And why was this so important? Because the food in North America is all but, well, at a minimum, it's unbelievably nutritionally insufficient. And you're going to say, well, I do organic or I do whole foods. Congratulations. 200 studies prove that organic, although slightly better nutritionally than regular food, it's less polluted. And that's, I mean, in terms of herbicides and pesticides, that's why you should do organic, which is what I do all the time. But it's not the answer from a nutritional standpoint, okay? These food groups, these researchers have gone to the far reaches of the world, to Russia, Mongolia, to Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of quantity, okay? And the idea was that the whole key to this, why diets don't work, is really pretty simple. All a diet is reducing the amount of food you're consuming. Forget calories. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. I'm serious, because still I don't have any. So what is it called? Raised to the Celtic maiden. So what was it called? Raised to question. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. That's what the researchers call it. Got it? They don't have any products. They don't sell anything. We don't sell anything. They don't sell anything. That's what I'm trying to explain to you right now, the Celtic maiden. So these food groups that came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represented these huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge amounts of quantity. So 30% maiden, the Celtic maiden, you would get from your grocery store. You'd actually get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. And then the other 70% from these foods around the world. Then what they did, they created 2 new ways for you to consume food. That's what she did. That's what everybody did. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. She started with the world's most perfect meal. Well, that's what the researchers call these foods from around the world. That was breakfast. No food from the grocery store for breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods around the world. But this time, they let her have those foods 8 times a day. And that's why it wasn't fasting. That's why it's not water fasting. That's why it's not time-restricted eating, okay? They called it fasting because it's lower quantity of food, but much, much higher nutrition. And look at the results. So Celtic maiden, how long would it, if you, I don't know if you need to lose weight. Yeah, because everybody needs to know. We have people as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91. We have a lady 80. She lost 91 pounds in 9 months. 9 months ago, couldn't climb a flight of stairs. Now she's playing pickleball 3 times a week, swimming 3 times a week, and walking 4 miles a day. This is not a diet, everybody. This is a new lifestyle that we all can have and embrace. Long term, not short term. This isn't about, okay, she needed to lose a total of 35 pounds. She lost 21 pounds in the first 30 days, and then as I don't know her, but the story, not the story, I think she lost 35 pounds in about 7 weeks, just to show you. Now, to show you someone who also did an amazing, look at this. That is 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at her stomach. Look at her arms. Look at her legs. Now, you can think it's Photoshopped. The people that want to come on and make these silly comments, they'll think we're faking it. It's AI. You can't show me any diet that's ever produced anything like that. It's just, it's silly. It's just ridiculous. It's like they're basically flat earthers. 550 years ago, the smartest people in the world, they all believed one thing. The world was flat until it wasn't anymore. Maybe some of them still believe it's flat. I don't know. It's just silly. When you're really dealing in real science and not advertising slogans and campaigns and all that, it's a whole different thing. That's why we're so comfortable with giving you the opportunity to go to that website right above our head in the New Health Conversation. Only thing there is the medical proof. There's nothing there to buy. There's no buy buttons. There's no books to buy. It's just your opportunity to see the medical proof. And if you like what you see, scroll down and you get a free coach the whole time, not just to get the weight off you, but teach you how to maintain it for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. You think that's laughable? You think maybe that's kind of cool? This is going to change. If you're on any diet right now, it's obsolete. It's finished. It's over. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat a diet that you think works. What would it be? What would it be? See, what's so amazing is what we have on the internet are opinions, or on social media, whatever you want to call it. All these platforms, etc. We're simulcasting and we're going all over the world, and people, we're getting calls from all over the world. It's a worldwide problem. We have 1 billion people, 1 billion worldwide clinically obese. So who else would like to ask a question? Let me show you a couple more pictures here. Look at this one, everybody. That was 11 months, 200 pounds. She went on, I think it was 17 or 18 months, she lost something like 300 pounds. But the thing that's so impressive about that picture, look at her waist area. Where's all the loose skin? What happened? I know you think it's photoshopped, it's not. And if you go to the website, you'll see some more before and afters of people lost over 100 pounds, no loose skin for the most part, almost no loose skin at all. And then when you look at someone like this, an older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days, you show me any diet that does that, what would it be? The thing that I will support all of you, and I understand how skeptical you are. I understand you've seen everything. This has got to be made up. It's not made up. Why? Why would you think it's not possible to do this just because it had never been done before? Would we have said that about an iPhone? It's impossible. You can't. What's this little thing that you're going to be able to text and get videos and stuff on a phone? What are you, crazy? I mean, they're still back in the dial. These people that are coming on making comments, it's like they're still using a rotary telephone. How do you show me how to text on it? So this is real, everybody. This is not made up. This is not fake, and it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. This is the coaching via email or calls. The coaching, your choice. It's live, it's text, it's email on a daily basis because you've never done anything like this before. So it's really, really important that you do it correctly. In addition, what you get is what the researchers, remember, we didn't create this. We're just reporting on it. We're showing you what they did, right? The researchers, the real scientists who did this, they created this. It's called the Blueprint for Success. And all these yellows you're seeing here are actually daily videos that explain to you why it's safe, what you're doing. And here's what's cool. The researchers who created this protocol, they don't have any products. They don't have a company. They don't sell anything. They're scientists. So the point is, the Celtic Maiden, the education about this is really important because less than 50% of the success is from what you're going to eat. The other 50% is when you're eating, how much you're eating, what are the sequences. They teach you all of that. And all I can tell you is the outcome. Yes, Celtic Maiden, let me follow up on that. They provide you in the blueprint. In the blueprint, one of these is a food list, proteins, fats, carbs, and the amounts, not calorie counts, but serving sizes to make it really easy for you to follow it. And you're doing exactly what they did in these medical studies. Okay, so just so you understand, it's very comprehensive. It's not really recipes in the sense of like you're making lasagna or something, but they give you lots of suggestions, but that's what the coaches are for. Because they've already done it. Most of our coaches have coached maybe 100 people or more. Now, why are we doing that? Because we got coached. And we feel we've had such amazing, life-changing opportunities. What happens is a lot of times, like maybe I'm making this up, but maybe you have a cousin or a sister or someone you work with, and they see what happened to you, and they go, "My God, what are you doing?" And so, our limitation, to be honest with you, Celtic Maiden, and everybody else, is there are only so many coaches. But I guess my question is for all of you: why wouldn't you go and look at medical proof? You're willing to listen. Not all of you, but some of you, to these silly comments that people make, on social media, like this is laughable, this is BS. Really? Because again, let me emphasize, this is the only protocol in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. All the other diet programs, at best, and they didn't even do the research. Other people did the research about all these diets. But here's another big. If you think diets work, listen to these new big studies. The science behind why diets don't work. I'm reading from the studies. Nothing's my opinion, okay? In a review of more than 30 long-term studies showing calories in, calories out diets actually cause weight gain. The more someone does diets, calories in, calories out, the more they'll weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. What are you doing? Why are you counting calories? Again, after all this time today, no one's been able to give me the definition of a calorie. Why are you counting calories? The body has no idea what a calorie is. It's the most ridiculous thing we've ever come up with. It's just silly. It's crazy. Now, but I don't want you to believe me. How about Harvard Medical School? Is that laughable for people? Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. Most people have been taught, this is Harvard saying this, not me. Most people have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy, calories in, calories out, is totally misguided. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford taught. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. This is a radical approach from what they've told us for over 100 years. They were wrong. Counting calories is not a strategy to lose weight long term. No way. Now let me read to you one more big study. Listen to what, same thing. Why you shouldn't count calories. So this is a fourth or fifth study I'm stating. They're telling about why you shouldn't count calories. I know this will probably make some of you mad. That's okay. Keep counting calories only to your own demise. Because 2/3 you're going to weigh more than when you started. This is what they're saying. Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count and restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. They went on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, two factors that are known to cause weight gain. You're going on these diets counting calories to gain weight. Did you know that, 2/3 of you? Does that excite you? You don't have to believe me. Go do it, try it, see what happens. Now, here's the medical definition of why counting calories doesn't work. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts the control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. She's kept that's 9 years ago. That picture's 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 9 years. How many of you ever lost 21 pounds total, let alone in 30 days? 30 days with no exercise. No one in these pictures I'm showing you was allowed to exercise because they wanted to isolate exercise. Not that they were against exercise, and we got tons of people that are doing this, and of course they exercise. That's one of the things I go over with a coach. I don't understand everyone. I guess I do. But the mainstream has been so adamant about calories in, calories out. It's the Cornish diet. It's the zone. They're all diets. They're all at the same, at the end of the day, you're reducing the quantity of the food you're consuming, but they never tell you. The Achilles heel, you're reducing the amount of nutrition. It triggers in the brain starvation mode. And in starvation mode, your body uses your muscles for fuel. Really unhealthy, slowing down your metabolism and slowing down your immune system. Did any of you know that before you came on this podcast today? That's the basis of this, was based on a simple principle. Nutrition, not supplements, but food that contained high levels of nutrition. And you think, well, I'll just go eat organic. No, you won't. There's 200 studies proving that organic is slightly better than regular food nutritionally, maybe 10, 15% at most. Well, that's not going to do it. The researchers put together food groups, so 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, fruits. But instead of calories, they gave her serving sizes. But only 30% of what she consumed in a month that she would normally buy from her grocery store, okay? The other 70% came from these food groups that other researchers had gone around the world for 20 years, gone to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of quantity. So now they had the ingredients, got it? 30% from the grocery store, you'd get a grocery list. The other 70% you buy directly. We don't sell you anything. The researchers don't sell you anything. You buy directly from those suppliers. That's what makes it more affordable. There's no middleman, okay, for you to have to mess with. Then they, using these ingredients, they created 2 new ways of consuming. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day, unheard of on diet. 4 meals, starting with these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch, off the food list from the grocery store, dinner from the food list from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. Yeah, she was eating every hour and a half. So she was nutritionally fasting. And the reason he was fasting, it was obviously lower quantities of food, but massive amounts of nutrition. And look at the results, everybody. Look at that. So who else would like to ask me a question also? Oh, sweet rose. I got roses, I got hearts, I got all kinds of things going on. And we're at 2,200 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen and get the likes up? Who else would like to ask me a question? I want to show you a couple more pictures here real quick. So that's Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days, no exercise. Look at her waist, look at her legs. That's all. Okay, dark flour. There are no products. Dark flowers, shocking. No products. Did you just come on this minute so you didn't hear my explanation? Let me give you the quick explanation. The researchers who created this had done 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people on basically diets, counting calories. And they realized that didn't work. It's never worked. It's never worked. So what they did, they put together food, not products. You buy from the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes. But only 30% of what you would consume in a month, you come from the grocery list, developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. The other 70% of the foods, okay, came from other researchers who had gone around the world for over 20 years, from places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to get foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food, okay? So it's not a product, it's food, right? Of which the researchers don't sell. They don't have a company. We don't sell it to you. So if you get a grocery list, you go to the grocery store, and the other 70% you buy from these foods around the world. And then the researchers developed 2 new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods around the world, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. Then 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Never done before. Not a fast, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but she got to eat those exotic foods 8 times a day. You heard me, 8 times. She was having something every hour and a half. Diabetics thrived on this, no insulin spike, because you were balancing out this nutrition over the course of about 12 hours. But look at the results. And then look at, this is the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? 60 pounds in 3 months. Dark flour, what do you think about that? Do you think it's the same woman? Do you think we're lying? Do you think we photoshopped it? Do you think it's AI? Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her waist area. This is real. This is not made up. This is made, if you're on this podcast today, it's made every diet you're on thinking about, they're obsolete. Why would you do this? How long would it take you to lose 60 pounds, any of you? If you were honest. I asked them 20 pounds. The minimum was 3 months. 3 months? Wait a minute. She lost 21 pounds in 30 days with no exercise. And then you look at an older gentleman like this, 10 pounds a week, 40 pounds, 52 inches at a month. Least important part of his story. Look at his lab work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Look at the triglycerides, 242 to 124. In 30 days, backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. No one has that. No diet. You're following these influences. They're giving you opinions. You're turning your health over to opinions? Really? You can do that because you're all doing it. You're all going to go back to doing it. We know based on how many people. Listen, we offer the option. Not only is that, you can see it there, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website to go to, nothing to buy. Only you, if you like what you see, scroll down, then you get a free coach the whole time for free. You've never done anything like this. They teach you how to do it. You also get what the researchers put together. It's called the Blueprint for Success, which is these are videos from the researchers who don't sell anything. They don't have any products. Why in the heck would they want to do this? Because they've spent 40 years and now they're being credited with solving the obesity crisis. So it's really important that you got to do exactly, this is what they gave the patients in the studies. You're following exactly what they did. The food lists are in here, what you do on a daily basis, when you do it, before and afters. I mean, just explanations about why did they pick these particular foods. You get a real education. I mean, honestly, dark flour or anybody, do you think diets are working? Really? When we've got John, I've got it here somewhere, I'll find it. John Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in in 4.5 years. Does that sound to any of you that diets are working, right? Does that sound like anything? So dark flour, I want to show you again, you have the option, it's up to you. We're not going to contact you, the new health conversation. That is the free website to go to. I just posted it right down there. There's no, make sure I spelled it right, I spelled conversation wrong. Okay, let me put it in there again one last time. The new health conversation. No spaces, okay? Conversation. There we go. Okay, now there I finally, right, the second one, see it, the new health conversation, no spaces, or you can see it right above her head, the new health conversation. But all you need to know, all of you, it's free to go there. We won't contact you, but if you go there and you like what you see, scroll down, you get a free coach. That's it. I mean, what? Hello? And you're not buying anything from the coaches. You're not buying anything from us. The reason it's affordable is you're buying directly from your grocery store. There's no product involved. It's groceries. And the other foods you're buying directly from the suppliers. It's about, you're going to probably spend about what you're spending now in a month on food that's not this. So who else would like to ask me a question? We're stuck at 2,200 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen and get some more likes going here, everybody? So who else would like to ask me a question? Or not? Pure Divine 316, I see you. I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Sometimes I do. I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing that I don't, wrapped up in terms of the research and things like that. So I want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. No, it looks like I'm good on that. Anna Duhan 69. Hello. Pure Divine 316. Oh, I said hello to you. How are you? Are you enjoying the content? Let me say that. Do you have any questions for me? This is live. It's not pre-recorded. I'm a nutritional researcher, 23 years, but I'm the researcher of the researchers. So everything I'm presenting to you, I didn't create it, but we're bringing it, we're letting you see it. That's why that website is so important, because that's all the medical proof. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and actually sign up for, I was just looking at your website. Oh, great. Great. The one thing, Pure Divine, just to give you a tip, one of the most important things on there, if you're on the website or we're on the website, it'll say 60 minutes that'll change your life. It's a podcast with the #1 nutrition, weight loss physiologist in the world, rated #1, who he and his team created this. And he goes over for you why it works, why it's different, why it's unique, and why it's safe. Most importantly, why is it safe? Because that concerns a lot of people when they see someone losing that kind of weight. Oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. Well, first of all, Pure Divine, to lose 20 pounds, I'm not saying you need to, but if you're going to lose 20 pounds, honestly, with the best intentions, the best program, being compliant, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I love hearing this from people, because we're dealing with expectations on diets, which this is. We're dealing against people on social media that are giving people opinions with no medical proof, none, zero. As you'll probably see, if you haven't already, there's nothing to buy on that website. There's no way for us to contact you unless you contact us. So don't think you're going to get a phone call or a text or somebody trying to muscle you into doing. We don't need to convince people. I mean, we got enough critics that want to come on here and make, give opinions. I had somebody earlier that was just saying this is, ridiculous. Really? It just shows that they don't know what they're talking about, because when you're talking about peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, of which this protocol, there are 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. I think 4 or 5 of the major ones are on the website. You can go click on a button and go see it. This is real. It's going to change the world. It's making every single diet out there obsolete. Look, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So Pure Divine, does that sound interesting? Good, we're getting more taps. I see hearts coming up there. Thank you all. Who else would like to ask me a question? This is live, everybody. This is not a podcast. It's not, I mean, it's a podcast. It's not pre-recorded. So now's your time to ask any questions. And I'm open. I'm open to other people's opinion. Well, there's no, but then we got even more. Then we have, look at this one right here. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. That's a little over 5 weeks, 35 pounds. And then you have things like this. Look at this. How about that? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? See, it's consistent. It's not just like it's a flash in the pan and they lose weight initially. Now, granted, she had a lot more weight to lose than the other people, but still to lose 60 pounds in 3 months safely. But look at the change. Where's the loose skin? See, look at that. Where's that? That's what I think is impressive about Julie. Look at her waist and leg area. Well, shoulders too, but look at the shrinkage in her body. Where's the loose skin? And then we got an older gentleman here. Look at this. 40 pounds in a month. How about 40 pounds in a month and 52.5 inches? And you know what, Pure Divine? That's the least important part of his story. Look at his blood work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. And his triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days. There's nothing like this on the planet. It's so crazy that it's so good. And yet, I would say 99% of the people on these podcasts go back to paleo, keto, Mediterranean, carb recycling, macros. I mean, none of them work long term. None. Zero work long term. As a matter of fact, the sad part is even Medicare, and I don't know, Divine, if you were on when I was talking about that. Yeah, amazing. They look awesome. I couldn't agree with you more. And thank you for that, by the way, Pure Divine. Because again, what benefit would we have to lie to people since we don't sell anything? All of you get the chance to go to that website and see the medical proof. Wow, keep tapping, everybody. Oh, Sweet D gave me a rose and a heart. Wow, that's wonderful. I got 2,500 likes. Let's get some more likes going. So, like I said, Pure Divine, let me just read to you from Medicare, Pure Divine. Listen to this. Medicare search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calories in, calories out, restrictive diets to assess whether these diets are an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that two-thirds of dieters regain more weight than the loss on their diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. That's really sad, Pure Divine. But this is Medicare admitting diets don't work. And yet people, it's like they're smoking hope dope. I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying? They're going into these diets and they lose weight initially. That's the crazy. Of course they do. But what kind of weight are they losing? Because in all the studies, Pure Divine, what they found was people were losing the weight they lost weight, 25 to 40% was lean muscle, which slowed down their metabolism, which caused them to plateau. They come off the diets, they gain everything back because their metabolism is slowed down. And it's not something like you go back to eating normally and your metabolism goes back up. That's not how it works. And sadly, the gain in weight is accompanied by the fat cells expanding about 95%. That's why so many people complain. Look at her stomach on day 1, everyone. And then look at her stomach on day 30 with no exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no anything. That is 100% real. No. Pure Divine. You're talking about these people? That picture's 9 years old. She's kept that weight off for 9 years. Same with my friend's daughter who lost to 60 pounds. That's 8 or 9 years old. No, they're not gaining the weight back. Or Curtis. No. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's why it's so different. I mean, I respect your opinion. If this was a diet, well, first of all, on a diet, you couldn't ever produce this. But the key, that's why it's called R2M, Pure Divine, race to maintenance. The only reason to do this, well, there's a number of reasons. It's not about losing the weight. It's about keeping it off and then improving your metabolic factors in your body from cholesterol to, I'm not saying you have any challenges with those, but 92% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy according to the Center for Disease Control with 3 of 5 factors. If they're overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglyceride. All 5 of those came down dramatically in these studies. No diet's ever, this is not a diet. I keep beating on my drum. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's a totally different way of being able to live. The whole key is initially you're going to get the weight up really fast, and then we show you how to keep it there. Isn't that divine? Is that not exciting? Oh, the dieters. Yes, 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 yes. No, I wasn't saying that you were disagreeing with me, not that I'm trying to convince you. You certainly can have your own opinions. But is that, seriously, divine, look at her waist. Is that crazy? Is that just crazy? Good? And then when you look at someone like Julie, now remember, divine, this is no exercise. They actually made them wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Not that the researchers were against, she looks great, I know, but not to convince, I'm sorry, not that the researchers were against exercise, but they had to eliminate it as a factor. Otherwise, people say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. Obviously, people can exercise. I'll show you someone who exercised. A couple of pictures of people that exercised, all right? This is pretty dramatic. This is only 11, let me find it. This is only 11 days, pure divine. Where do you see this? Day 1, pretty darn good shape. 4 days later, because when it says day 5, that's the morning of day 5. Look at the stomach area. And then 12, the morning of day 12, look at that transformation. That's exercise, of course. But in 11 days, that kind of a transformation? Because everybody, even if you're in shape, your fat cells are storing chemicals. And it may not show on the outside in his particular case, but on the inside, the fat cells were proportionally expanded. And when he was able to detox his body, the fat cells shrank. Look what it was replaced with, lean muscle mass. You can't fake that. I mean, you can think we faked it. And I kind of, divine, I kind of know that. Yeah. Is that amazing? In 11 days? And divine, now this one I'm going to tell everybody, didn't Photoshop it, kind of know this person. Divine, that's my youngest son. That's my youngest son in 11 days. Now, he did exercise, of course. And we're not against exercise. The only reason they didn't let him exercise was because they didn't want that to be one saint. Okay, so one saint, where you can go is right here. Hold on, let me show you the new health. So this website I'm typing in for you, let me spell it, the new health conversation. Okay, it's correct. I'm typing it in, no spaces. When you go there, there's nothing to buy, and we will not contact you, one saint. But if you like what you see, let me go back to the first poster again. Hold on just a second. You can see there the new health conversation, no spaces, but right above, free coaching to ensure success. When you go to the website, you can scroll down once you've looked at the medical proof, because we're not going to contact you. Let me get that across to everybody. You go to their website, we're not contacting you. We don't have time to do it. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and get a coach for free that will do your initial consultation. We got kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 90. We have a lady 81. Yeah, she's 80. She lost 91 pounds in 9 months. She couldn't climb a flight of stairs 9 months ago. Now she's playing pickleball 3 times a week. She's swimming 3 times a week and walking 4 miles a day. You think she got her life back? Did you hear what I said? 91 pounds in 9 months at 80 years of age. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical diagnosis whatsoever. All we're doing is sharing with you what they did in the medical studies. The proof of what they did, the most important. Then you get to see what did the researchers, what foods did the people get to eat? And then how did they do this on a daily, weekly basis? Because the key to it is to get to your maintenance. It's not a question, you can get the weight off, you can see it coming off. It's keeping it off for the long term. But when you've got someone who's an older guy, 40 pounds and 52.5 inches in 30 days, aren't you curious, some of you? With that being the least important part of his story, look at his lab work before and after. A1C, 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides. 242, they dropped to 124 in 30 days with no exercise. Show me anything like this on the planet. Oh, I know there are people going to come on and say, oh, they photoshopped it, it's AI, it's BS, it's not real. No, it is real. And see, the reason they can't argue, when you have peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, they've already been vetted, analyzed by the top critics in the world, medical doctors and researchers. Do you know what their real job is when you submit for a real, what's called a peer-reviewed human trial study? Is to discredit what you've proven. That's why no drug ever gets approved, thank goodness, without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Otherwise, the drug companies, and thank God we do it. I'm not against drugs. We're in such a crisis. If people, I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have, high blood pressure medication and high blood sugar medication and cholesterol and triglycerides and all these things. But what's the underlying, what's the root cause behind so much of this? Being overweight, no question about it. And all of you've just been, including myself, we've just been misled. That's a nice way of saying misinformation, whatever you want to talk about. But go to the malls today in the United States and see what you see. Men, women, children. 50% of our kids now are overweight, and a third of them are type 2 diabetics. Do you know that 30 years ago, 35 years ago, that type 2 diabetes in children did not exist at all? Well, watch the Saturday morning cartoons and wonder what's going on. Hopefully that's going to change now. Hopefully they're finally going to wake up and not let the food lobby dictate we can give you lots of food with no nutrition. No, we need to give you less food with more nutrition. That's what the researchers did. The reason this worked is they got away from counting calories altogether. They just concentrated on nutrition. Who else would like to ask me a question? So One Saint, does that make sense to you? The new health conference, you understand where to go and what to do if you want to. And again, the coaches are 100% free. They're not going to try and convince you or sell you. You owe it to yourself to go to that website and look at the medical proof. There's nothing to buy there. There's no buy buttons for any. Wow, we get to 3,000 likes. Thank you all very, very much. Tap the screen. So Pure Divine, I hope you do enjoy the website, because again, there's nothing to buy there. And if you like, scroll down and get a coach and see what you think. The coaches are not, Pure Divine, they're not there to convince you or sell you. That's not what they do. They don't have enough time to do that. We're coaching so many people. To be honest with you, Pure Divine, that's our Achilles heel potentially. We only have so many coaches, and we don't let anybody do this. We got coached. So why would you expect someone, even though you don't buy anything from us, to take their hard-earned money and effort and just say, okay, here, with no coaching, no guidance? We're not doing that, okay? Oh, wonderful, Pure Divine. Yes, you're saying yes. Okay, great. Is there anything else I can answer for you, Pure Divine? And let me just show you this other picture. You talk about exercise, everybody. Now, this gentleman did exercise, but look at this. 50 pounds in 4 months. Look at that. I mean, it's almost silly. It's almost like you Photoshop that. I don't know how to Photoshop, number one. But you have to understand the 50 pounds is not really reflective. Because although obviously he shrank fat, we know, for example, he increased his lean muscle. So it wasn't, the 50 pounds is even more impressive because he probably gained about 8 or 10 pounds of lean muscle in that. But look at that transformation. Is it the same person? Is it? Yeah, well, he's got the same glasses on. But is that amazing, everybody? Just amazing? So what is that, 12.5 pounds a month? Now, granted, he worked out. But you got to understand, these other people, not allowed to work out. They didn't work out. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't working out. No one was allowed to work out. Isn't that just crazy good? Crazy good? So who else would like to ask me a question? And we do have 3,000 likes. That's wonderful. So I'm at 1 hour and 3 minutes, and I'll go a little bit longer. If anybody wants to ask me a question, I'm here for all of you. Or who thinks that's photoshopped, or who thinks it's not real, or who thinks this is BS. It's not. It's the only protocol in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, which are medical studies at the highest level of scrutiny you can get. Why aren't these other influencers showing you peer-reviewed human trial studies? Because they don't have any. They're nice people. I don't want to disparage them. They're telling you what they have been taught. They're telling you what they know. But what if everything you're being told about diet, exercise, and nutrition is totally wrong? Because it is. You can't possibly think Johns Hopkins Medical School, new study. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to you like diets are working? Does that really sound like diets are working? But most of you are going to go back to what you were doing, and yet you have a chance to change your lives by just going to that website where there's nothing to buy, nothing to see. We're not going to contact you. No one ever answers this for me, but I just wonder, why wouldn't you go to that website? Why wouldn't you go to look at medical proof? Because I guess it's easier to follow an influencer that tells you, well, you can lose 20 pounds in a month and it's mostly fat. Well, that's a total lie. There's no such thing as losing fat. You can shrink fat or expand fat, but the number of fat cells you're born with, you die with. It's just silly. It's just ridiculous what we're being told. So we got 3,100 likes now. Let's get some more taps on that screen. Come on, everybody. Who would like to ask me a question about that? Or let me ask all of you a question for new people coming on. If you were going to lose 20 pounds, you get to go to any gym, hire any trainer, do any weight loss program you want. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? I'm always curious about that because people, the bar is so low. In other words, we've set the bar so low. Well, you've all heard, don't lose more than a pound a week on a diet, it's unhealthy. On a diet, that's actually true. Do you know that 25 to 40% of what you're losing on any of these diets is lean muscle mass? It's just sad. And then you have people out there, giving a bunch of hot air about this intermittent fasting where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat for 8. I'm going to prove to you how ineffective it is. This is a big study done in the Journal of the American Medical Association for 3 months. Here's what they said. The Journal of the American Medical Association, new research found that a time-restricted eating where you routinely fast 16 hours daily, over the course of 3 months, participant gained almost no benefit from it, lost an average of 2 to 3.5 pounds, and most of the weight they shed was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. But you listen to these influencers telling you, well, the majority of what you lose is fat. That's a lie right there. There's no such thing. I mean, right away, they're lying, okay? And 20 pounds in a month, and most of it's fat, most of it's lean muscle mass. And then they tell you that it's not about, calories, right? Well, here's a big study in the Annals of Internal Medicine on time-restricted eating, where you don't eat for 16 hours and eat for 8. In the study, they said at 12 weeks, they had 2 groups of people. The first group was time-restricted eating, where they didn't eat between, whatever it is, 8 and noon the next day, I guess it is, yeah, or 6 and 8, whatever it is. It's 16 hours of no food and 8 hours of eating. Here's what they said, and compared that just to people who lowered calories. After 3 months, the average weight loss on time-restricted eating was 4.6 pounds, and those who did calorie restriction was 5.2 pounds. They went on to say in this huge study that any suggestions that the effects of time-restricted eating on weight in any prior study was due to anything other than calorie reduction is totally false. And this is the Annals of Internal Medicine, not my opinion. But this is what you're all doing. You're following these influences that are giving you this nonsense. Unless they have peer-reviewed human trial studies, we're at a crisis point now. We can't take I'm not willing to take a chance. Maybe you are. But you're entrusting your health to people giving you opinions with no medical science behind it. Let's read the medical explanation of why calorie counting from a metabolic standpoint of view doesn't work. It's not my opinion. Listen to what they said. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss, initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained. How's that sound? Pretty good? See how crazy this is? Crazy? Who else would like to ask me a question? Wow, we're at 4,000 likes. We got a lot of people liking this content. Now, in addition to this lady right here, this lady, Julie, that's 35 pounds in 37 days, but look at the change in her body. I know you think it's a different woman. No, it's the same woman. And that's without any exercise. And she was not on a diet. She wasn't counting calories, okay? And then if you look at my friend's daughter, how about 60 pounds in 3 months? Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body, look at that major change. Crazy, right? Crazy. So And then this gentleman here, an older gentleman, look at this, everybody. 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. I know you think it's Photoshop. It's fake. It's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast. Yeah, on a diet, that would never even happen. Think about that. He lost 10 pounds a week. 10 pounds. How much would that excite some of you? I mean, he needs to lose about, I think, 60 pounds. He's already lost 40 in just 30 days. How motivated. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. All these people have been able to maintain their weight now for 8 or 9 years. It's the only reason to do it is that why lose weight only to gain it all back? And I read to you from all the studies, study after study. Here's another one, why you shouldn't count calories. Our researchers found that while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. They went on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. You're going on diets to gain weight. You are. Who's telling you this? It's not me telling you this. It's the research. The scientists are saying this, and what are we doing? We're still running headlong right into a wall. You will lose weight initially. Then it'll be a trickle. Then it'll stop. Then you're plateaued. Then you get frustrated, quit the diet, but you're gaining all the weight back. 2/3 you're going to weigh more than when you started. Why are you dieting? I mean, to me, it looks like this is this giant experiment in the definition of insanity that we're doing. Not your fault. None of it's your fault. It's the wrong damn approach. And these researchers took 40 years to figure it. 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people to figure this out. Again, I'd love any comments. Look at that. Look at the transformation in an older guy. You're told, oh, you get older, it's harder to lose weight. Really? We got people with no thyroids losing weight. We got people with no gallbladders, a man with a heart transplant, kids 2 years old and younger, 14 months even. Now, they're not doing the full program. That's why you get a free consultation with one of the coaches right here. Look at it. The new health conversation, free for all of you to go and get a free consultation with a coach. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing you're going to see there is the medical proof of everything I'm sharing with you. So who else would like to? Wow, we're at 4,500 likes. Thank you all very, very much. We're approaching 5,000. So who else would like to ask me a question? Or not? Who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? All right, well, I'm going to end this podcast in about 3 minutes, and then I'll probably do another one. So it's now almost 10 o'clock on the East Coast Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, May 26th. So let's just take a look at maybe, let's say, 10, 11, 12. Say about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'll come on and do another podcast. Look, turn everybody on to this website. It's free to go there. They don't have to be on my podcast to see the medical proof. And you all have the opportunity for a free coach. Why wouldn't you do that? Yeah, Pure Divine, thank you. No, thank you for your time. I hope you're enlightened. I hope you're encouraged. More importantly, I hope you're motivated. I hope you get, if this does what it's done for these other people, it could be life-changing for you and a reset button for the rest of your life. That's really what we want to be able to do, because that's what happened to us. Imagine, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off. Pretty good to me. So I didn't have to buy bigger jeans every year. I went from a 42 to a 34-inch size waist in about 18 days. 23 years ago. I'm still in 34-inch jeans today. So, oh, great, Saint. Wonderful. All right, everybody. I'm signing off for now. I'll be back probably around 11:30 Eastern Time. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for all the wonderful likes, etc. I'm glad that we're making a difference. And Pure Divine, that's very nice of you to say that. Bye, everybody.